Hey everybody, Coach Dan here with the Chicago Marathon kickoff message. The marathon tradition runs deep in Chicago. Even though its current iteration dates back to just 1977, the city and its athletics clubs held marathon events from 1905 through the 1920s. Known for being flat and fast, it's a great PR course if the weather cooperates. The world record has been broken in Chicago 4 times, twice for the men and twice for the women. Heartbreakers have placed as high as 18th overall in this great race. That's Johnny Phillips last year, 2021. So many athletes set their personal bests in Chicago. The second Sunday of October is often a great day to race, but summer, on the other hand, is a very challenging time to train. From a practical standpoint, though, this is good. It'll make hitting paces on long runs hard, often impossible, but when the weather changes, as it always does, your strength and speed will be there. For you, the athletes, the Chicago Marathon is a performance. Your job is to hone your body into a machine that will carry you 26.2 miles. If you're new to this, it's your first ever marathon, do not worry, it absolutely will. October 9th will be a powerful display of the strength you forged, your self-belief, your running capacity, and your grit. The training buildup will be long and at times intense. It feels far away now, but it's gonna come up quick here. We're going to gather in Grand Park and from its center, head out on a tour of the city. First north, then west, south, and back. We'll run with joy and pride, feeling the power, the tradition, and the love of Chicago. And first, the training. All right, so the Heartbreaker team and me, your coach, will send out weekly emails. Those will kick off today, Memorial Day. And you'll receive every single Sunday night or Monday, you'll get an inbox note with all of the things you need to be thinking about, all the things you need to know. The training documents will be listed in every single one of those emails. You'll be provided a beginner and an intermediate training plan, and you'll also have access to our digital portal, the Heartbreaker Virtual Training Center. In order to get access to the Virtual Training Center, you will need to take action. So you'll need to find the email activating your Heartbreak account, your account at heartbreak.run. Look for that email coming from info@heartbreak.run, info@heartbreak.run. Your coaching communication will come from coach@heartbreak.run. So we use the same system to send emails for the store, commerce related emails, coaching related emails, and then activation emails. So if you have unsubscribed from our emails in the past, you're not going to be able to receive the coaching emails, and you'll need to reach out directly to coach@heartbreak.run, and that will be why you're likely not receiving the emails if you're in that small group. All right, let's talk about the training. So if you're on the ground in Chicago or in Boston, we have many sessions that you can check out. Just go to heartbreak.run, follow the run link to your city, and the sessions are there. Every Saturday in both Chicago and in Boston, we'll have runs that match exactly the beginner and intermediate plans of our program. Like I said, I'm providing 2 plans, a beginner and an intermediate plan to our Chicago groups. And there is an advanced plan for Heartbreakers, but I don't speak to that one too much. It is a true advanced plan. Just for some brief context, so you can have a little bit of an understanding of what's coming. The beginner plan peaks with 120 miler, and the way that the miles march up in the long run is you'll go up a couple weeks and then come back down, gather strength and confidence, recover a little bit with a shorter long run, then we'll march it back up. So it'll go kind of 2 to 3 on climbing runs, and then it'll come back down. So that way, every weekend, you're not running the longest, hardest run of your life if you're new to this. There'll be time to gather, feel strong, and then power ahead. Intermediates, you guys have a much more accelerated buildup at the start because we're targeting 3 20 milers when we get deep into the plan. So between those 20 milers is a shorter run. So that's really a span of 5 weeks where we're running our 20 mile biggest, bulkiest segment of the training. So therefore, in order to get to 20, 4 weeks earlier than the beginners, we need to ramp up much more quickly. So all of those things are outlined in the plans. There are as many ways to run the marathon as there are marathoners running the race. So please keep that in mind. The most important thing you can do is understand that the plans I send to you are just illustrations of best practices for runners generally. You have the opportunity to chat with me just like this over Coach Live Q&A every single Wednesday morning. I do that live. I'm sitting there live, 9 a.m. East, 8 a.m. Central, Wednesday mornings. You can link to that from our Heartbreaker Virtual Training Center. So you can also just send me emails or post in that virtual training center in that forum for Coach Live Q&A. That's the best thing. If you send me an email, I'm just going to copy that email and paste it there and answer it on Coach Live. So that allows me to cut down on emails. It also allows me to sit and chat with people directly and answer questions that people have that are often very similar. We're all training for the same thing, and often questions that I get illuminate ideas and principles for the team at large. So that's why I do it that way. It saves me some email time, and it allows me to have a much more dynamic experience than trying to send emails and trying, you know how email is. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about the plans. As I mentioned in the training documents, a training plan is not an IKEA instruction manual. You are not a chic Scandinavian wooden chair. You are a human being and an athlete, and we're going to train you as such. And that requires a lot of self-awareness. Whether you're following my plan or somebody else's plan, which I don't coach to or comment on, I believe there are 4 keys to success in training for a marathon. So number 1, consistency. Be consistent. So I often talk about how life gets in the way of everything that you're trying to do as an athlete, right? That's the nature of it. There's always a balance and tension between everything we're trying to get done. But when we are asking for donations or running a life dream race in the Chicago or whatever big, scary athletic endeavor we have to keep that training ball rolling. So if you see on the plan that there is a 6-miler and you only have time for 1 or 2 miles, it might pop in your head that maybe you just won't do that because it's not even close to the miles you had on the plan. I want you to know you should absolutely do the miles that you can do. You know, if you're stuck at a work conference or stuck on vacation, it's really important that you get in what you can. It doesn't need to be what's on the plan. It can be a week that holds so that you don't lose any fitness, and then you just continue on into the next week. That's how you should really think about it, that those 1 or 2 mile days every other day, if you did that for a week because you were stuck at a conference, for instance, if you ran Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 miles each day, and that's all you could possibly do, that is 3 days of training, you know, compared to what may have been 0. And that's running every other day. That's holding your fitness. That's really important. So that's one way that I think is important to point out in terms of staying consistent. Number 2, variation. So variation, what I mean by that, variety in training, is we are athletes as marathoners. It's just like basketball. You can't be just a dribbling expert and just say, no, I'm the dribbling person. If you're out there on the court, it's Celtics playoffs, so that's on my mind. You have to be able to shoot the 3. You have to be able to block out. You have to be able to rebound, pass, shoot free throws, shoot close, shoot hook shots. Every single dynamic thing that goes into play D, right? You've got to do a lot of work to be just a basketball player, period. And it's pretty similar in running. It's not just running. You know, you have to be able to run fast. You have to be able to run at pace. You have to be able to keep your core strong so you can stay upright and express the most amount of power out of your stride. You want to be flexible for that same reason. We want to be nice and tall so we can express the most force, but we also want to be flexible so that we can achieve the best range of motion to run efficiently. We want to run fast, slow, long. All of those things are things that we will work on. So all of the toolkits are outlined in the training documents. And then in the virtual training center, we have yoga classes, strength training classes, ab workouts. All those things are there. Use them. So when it comes to just balancing your week, specifically around the running and the different skills of running, so you're going to run easy mostly. You'll run a speed workout where we work on pace, efficiency, power, speed, once or twice a week. If you're new to this, probably once a week most of the time, occasionally twice a week. If you're a seasoned vet, maybe twice a week. And speed is not something that you need to be expert in. We have audio guided runs. You can just pop in some headphones, press play, and get out there and do it at your ability. But what that does is it allows you to break down hard things into small chunks, go faster than pace, so that when you do go long, it feels a little bit easier. You know, it all contributes to the same thing. When we're going long, we're building that heavy capacity, that aerobic capacity. We're building that skeletal muscular capacity so that you can withstand the rigors of the marathon. You have to be able to get through it. And that's what the long run is all about. And then in between long runs and speed runs, which are really just 2 to 3 days a week, are just easy runs. So that's where we're just building our cardiovascular capacity, staying fit, and allowing some space and distance between the long run and the speed run. So more questions about that can be answered in Coach Live Q&A. Tip number 3, key to success number 3, listen to your body. In order to finish and have that incredible finish line moment in Chicago, we need to be able to start. So we need a healthy body to get us through this marathon. And we only have one, so you have to be really careful with it. So if you start to feel little things coming in, go see a professional. Just like any other medical issue, to the wildly serious to a little bit of ankle tendonitis, early intervention is the key to success. And that's just a fact. So go see a professional. You can ask me about it. I'm going to say, go see a professional. Just a couple notes about that as you are listening to your body and its signals. Sometimes something will feel stiff and not great, and then it'll warm up over the course of a run. That is not as concerning. That is something that maybe you just keep an eye on it, ice it, reduce the volume of running you're doing, maybe reduce the speed you're running. Give yourself a couple days of other cardio that's not running potentially, and stay in tune to it. If you have something that gets worse as you run, something that really just hurts when you walk, makes it challenging, or makes you walk with a different style, those are major warning flags that you need to go see somebody ASAP. And with all of the pressures of the marathon, the commitment itself, the massive day, the world major status of this race, you want to protect it. And often what feels like it's going to ruin everything, once you see a professional, they can address it in an acute way and knock it out much more quickly than if you just kind of lay around on a foam roller and think you're doing something for a while. So go see the pros. They are there for you. They will help. Finally, your team is the last key to success. You know, for us, we have the Heartbreakers, a wild group of highly motivated, highly diverse bodies and people who support each other through this. But it's not just about the team for which you're running. If you're running for a charity team, raising funds, it's all about the people around you. You have a team of donors who believe in what you're doing and are supporting your life dream. You have significant others who help facilitate all of these miles outside the home, help facilitate maybe getting you fed, making sure that your time is protected so that you can achieve this life dream. And the reason the team is so important as you go through this experience is it's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard at certain points, and you're going to need to think about your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you care so much about this? And for me, and for a lot of people, it's about the people around us, you know, the people for whom we do this, the people we do this with, the people who we share miles with, but the people for whom we run in honor. It's an incredible experience taking on any marathon, but taking on a world major in a world-class city like Chicago is such a special thing. So I'm also on your team. I'm here just as your coach to help guide this process for you as best I can. So I will see you on Coach Live Q&As. Hopefully I will see you at live events very soon, and happy training for Chicago, everybody.